Today we have a very special episode. We're going to teach you the ins and outs of the zombie apocalypse so you don't get your ass killed. So pay attention.
The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast, everybody. My name's Mikey Booyah.
My name's Unknown. What's up, YouTube?
We are here with a very special, informative episode of the Natural Habitat Podcast, and we are going to teach you the ins and outs of the zombie apocalypse and what to do, what not to do, how to do it, what to look like when you do it, should you or should you not wear sunglasses, and more. All of that will be covered today. And once again, just like I say on every episode, it's no different. Don't buy weed from Spencer. He's a bitch. That's becoming a reoccurring thing. I hope he hears it, you bitch. So,
Copyright. Not Ricky Bobby Inc.
Ricky Bobby Inc. Natural Habitat Podcast. That is owned and subsidized. Joey, how are you? Are there any signs of zombies in Hollywood right now?
That's a dumb question. There's always fucking zombies here, man.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They're just
weirdos
constantly
walking down the street. Yeah, I mean, everywhere you look, there's zombies here, one form or another. You know, vape zombies, hippie zombies. Mm-hmm. You know, hooker zombies, gay zombies over here in the West Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
I don't know.
That's a whole nother episode in total because we're really only have time to focus on the brain eating zombies, literal brain eating, undead, no blood pumping through their veins zombies.
Nice.
So base heads do not count. Although we should have
we don't want your PCR.
We should have an episode about surviving an encounter with a base head, though. Just
yeah,
it'll be kind of like this, just with different elements.
The Natural Habitat Guide to Surviving the Crack Life.
Yep, that crack life. Just if you have to go and like wait on a corner in a sketchy neighborhood for a ride, and like people are coming up and talking to you, so you know how to deal with them. Because if you look scared, then they're gonna steal your money and buy crack with it. So you got to be able to look the part and be a crackhead. Step 1: smoke crack. That's how you survive in the streets.
Yep. Wait, wrong list. We're on the wrong list again.
That's right. We absolutely are.
We're on the zombie list.
Step 1 for the Natural Habitat Podcast zombie list is organize before they rise. That's the first step. You want to be ready. Otherwise, you're going to be fucked.
Sounds like a good step.
Yeah, I mean, you should be ready for a zombie apocalypse, any sort of nuclear fallout, martial law, any of that shit. I think that everyone should have a backpack in their house that has, you know, like some basic survival things, water, some clothes, shit like that, and, you know, lighters.
Out of all the versions of zombies, which has been your favorite?
All right. That was a quick jump. I think that my favorite out of all would be the Dawn of the Dead, the remake that they did with Ving Rhames. And I believe that was the first time that the zombies had super crazy speed and were running around hella fast, super vicious. Before that, all the zombies were slow and everything.
Yeah.
So
I kind of liked...
That's when it got scary.
I kind of liked World War Z, man. Those zombies were different. And they broke, like, all the rules of zombies, really. You know, like, they stayed true to some things, like being in a horde and, like, you know, some of the rules stay the same. But I loved how animated they were and, like, how fast they would move and use each other to climb up and build structures and shit. Like,
yeah, that was crazy, like, how they piled up over the wall and shit.
Yeah, that shit was a crazy scene. You know, I was just watching it yesterday. I was checking it out, and I was like, damn, that really was like something that you can imagine like could be, you know, if the zombie shit really took over your brain, you don't know what that, you're just a host. You know what I mean? You're dead already. You don't know what's going on. So you don't know like what you're actually capable of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cool to imagine, because they say that we only use like 10% of our brain, you know what I mean? So what if
it's not true?
What if the infection infects your brain to where it uses like all of it? Who's to say like you're not capable of superhuman strength or like, you know, whatever things that, you know what I'm saying? Like if it takes over your body, all of a sudden you could be a super person.
Yeah.
Compared to everybody else, you know, like
nobody really knows what's going to happen. That's what I wanted to get into, is that everybody's grown accustomed to this Hollywood version of the zombie, to where, you know, they're going after your brains. It's usually the dead rise up from the ground because of, a lot of times it's because hell is full. It's like that kind of thing. And then a lot of times it's a virus, and it's a mix of those. So we've been fed this kind of Hollywood version of zombies over and over again ever since, you know, the 50s. Like, when was the first zombie movie made? In the 50s or the early 60s, I think?
Something like that.
And we have no idea what's going to happen when it does happen. I mean, it could be some sort of sickness. It could be a virus. It could be some sort of what's the word when they tell you to get something like a vaccine, you know, that goes wrong. It could be some mad cow disease that everybody gets, and it could come in any form. You know, you don't know what it's really going to look like. It might not be just some, you know, dead tissue guy trying to eat your brains. It could really be anything. But I want to say that just from my own, you know, personal research, that zombies originated in Africa, and it was a voodoo thing, like some sort of voodoo spell where you would like bring magic. The dead back. Yeah. And ever since then, the legends just grew and spread, and zombies are a huge culture. I remember, what was it, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, when zombies were huge, and there was zombie everything at all the stores, and Hot Topic, and zombie shirts, and zombie backpacks, and all that shit.
Zombie Land?
Yeah, and it blew up, and it was the big thing that everyone's into, and then now it's gone, and now everybody likes Minions for some reason.
Those are like zombies, I guess.
Yeah, you know, same shit. But I was into zombies when I was a kid. One of the first horror movies that I saw was Night of the Living Dead, one of the old school ones. And I think we talked about that on the Wes Craven episode. And it was crazy, man. It was scary when I first saw that shit. It was weird. And it was a weird concept. I always loved it. And then everybody was into it, and it became the cool thing, and it pissed me off. And now nobody cares anymore. But I do. I love zombies.
Yeah, so I think that there should be like, I don't know, this 2015 and everything's science-based. You know what I mean? So they should look at it like more like an actual thing that could potentially happen in nature. The way that it happens with other things in nature. It's like the zombie ant. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Check this out.
TV series like The Walking Dead to what seems like an endless supply of new zombie movies like World War Z and Warm Bodies, our society is forever fascinated by mind-infecting diseases that take over people's bodies. While these tales are just that, fictitious stories, it is far too real for the tropical carpenter ants living throughout the rainforest of Thailand. A strange parasitic fungus bases its entire life cycle on these ants as it inhabits certain areas of the forest, like a type of viral killing field. When worker ants roam into these areas, the fungal spores attach to the ant's skin and spread through the body and head, affecting the ant's central nervous system and literally causing the ant's muscle fibers to separate. The infected ant then displays zombie-like behavior as it strays away from its routine and begins convulsing and walking around the forest aimlessly. Other ants are aware of this, and if a zombie-infected ant is spotted, it will be attacked, killed, and carried far away from the other ants to prevent further infection. Once the sun has reached the highest point in the sky, all infected ants will climb to the top of a leaf, where the mind-controlling parasite will cause the ant to clamp its jaws onto the stem in a permanent locking manner, where the ant will eventually die. A few days later, the brain fungus will sprout and grow out of the top of the ant's head, where it will eventually bloom and shower the ground below with new spores to continue this fungus's life cycle.
Dang.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, I didn't.
So that's real. You know what I mean? Like, that's an actual thing. Like, the ant gets infected by spores that attach itself to the ant that have a parasite inside of it. It gets inside of the ant and fucking eats the ant's brain and shit and plants itself inside of the ant's head.
Yeah.
And then sends the ant to do some crazy shit and then lock onto a fucking branch and die. And then the spore grows like a fucking mushroom out of the ant's head and sprouts new ones. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy. And that is real as fuck. That's in nature right now.
Yeah.
And something like that could be easily viewed as a conceptual way people could become zombies. You know what I'm saying? We're very susceptible to parasites. You know what I mean? Parasites attack us left and right. Humans are full of a million different types of parasites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just depending on like where you live at, you know, or what's around you. And so it's a very easy, agreeable scenario. You know what I mean? Like, you catch this zombie parasite, and then next thing you know, you're fucking crazy.
Right?
And some mushrooms growing out of the top of your head, and all of a sudden you're fucking, whatever took over, you know what I mean? Whatever the zombie parasite is, you know? So, and something like that, you think about something that crazy is already found in nature, right? You have these ants, you take that shit and engineer it in a lab like they do with other diseases, you know, like how they engineer like smallpox and make it like to where it fights off vaccines and shit, or like, you know what I mean, the way that they do like chemical weapons and shit. So it's like they can easily engineer an actual zombie virus from one of these real zombie things, and it could happen overnight. You know, somebody can get infected, however they make it to like transfer from person to person or whatever. You know, that's easily engineerable in a lab.
Yeah.
You know, they can easily do some shit like that. So that's what's a scary scenario.
Yeah, and if something breaks out that is a virus or some sort of, you know, like spore or some sort of disease like that can be transferred like a virus or a cold, then, you know, you don't have to get bit or scratched. You can just kind of like touch a door handle and then touch your face, or drink off the same cup as somebody and then you get this virus. Or just breathe
the same air.
Yeah. So one thing that I would like to suggest to everybody out there that would like to be more prepared for any sort of apocalypse or fallout of society at all, because pretty much if zombies happen, you're going to be dealing with a lot more things than zombies. You know what I mean? There's not going to be any more police. There's not going to be any more, you know, fire department or ambulance. A lot of your neighbors are going to turn on you and try to protect their own family. And, you know, it's going to be a whole different set of rules. And a good way to get ready for that is to buy the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. Max Brooks is Mel Brooks' son, the actor. And nice. He wrote like a really comprehensive survival guide of pretty much he covers everything from types of weapons to building shelters to being on the move. And I think it's a great book. Everyone should go get it. It's fucking $15 or some shit like that. So it'll help out a lot. It's full of information. And one thing that he has in here is a whole list of recorded attacks that are like instances that look weird. They're not like, hey, this zombie outbreak happened, but it's all things that look like it could be a little fishy, and a lot of things that were covered up, and files were changed and shit like that. This was way back in the day before internet and everyone can access all these files, so they just kind of told us whatever they wanted to. But the first recorded attack that they have that looks zombie-like at all is in Central Africa, and it's 60,000 years before Christ. They found a cave that archaeologists unearthed, and inside was 13 skulls. All the skulls had been crushed, and near them was a large pile of fossilized ash, so implying that these people had been burned with their skulls crushed. And on the wall was a cave painting of a human figure, hands raised in a threatening posture, and inside its gaping mouth was a body of another human. So that would be the first, like, that looks zombie-like to me. You know what I mean? That has all the telltale signs. You got to destroy the brain. And cave paintings, I think, tell a lot, man. I think that just cave paintings in general of old civilizations are really interesting. But then I also think about some of the shit that I've drawn on walls. And if someone were to look at that 10,000 years from now, it probably wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't be anything significant,
Right.
But that goes, this list of recorded attacks goes all the way up until 2002 when the book was published. And there's a few down in your neck of the woods in downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
In 93.
I bet there's a lot in Florida too, huh?
Yep. So
93, that was the fucking riots.
Yep. The fucking zombie riots. Then that's what they disguised it.
Is there any truth in anything in this book, or is
no, there
Max
is.
Brooks just pulling a fast one?
No,
on
like
everybody?
all this stuff in the back. All this stuff in the back is ridiculous. It's just a bunch of things that look weird. But he covers a lot of shit. Like one thing that I learned from here that's good is the ideal like wardrobe and dress wear. You want to wear tight clothes and you want to cut your hair so that nobody can grab you if you're running by. They have less shit to grab onto. Also, he talks a lot about the value of a solid blade over a gun because you don't need to reload it. You don't need ammunition. He talks about what's it called, full tang, when the blade goes all the way through the handle, and so the blade doesn't break off, and different types of bludgeoning weapons that will last longer, and all this different types of shit. So he gets really in depth and tells you how to barricade a house properly, tells you how to clean all your weapons, all this shit. So it's pretty much everything you need. It's like a full comprehensive survival guide that just happens to be themed around zombies, but it has a lot of survival shit in it.
Kind of like the rules from Zombieland.
Yeah, kind of like that. Only not because they're copywritten, I'm pretty sure. Was that you? Was that you that was telling me that they were going to make a Zombieland TV show?
No, that was Waffles.
That was Waffles. I'm still waiting for it.
I don't think it.
He left.
I think it's.
He left today to Oregon, and he has a whole box full of podcasting equipment that I sent him with. So he should be set up pretty soon.
Nice. We'll have a new another correspondent from afar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. There's been a lot of zombie movies. Like, I didn't even realize before that Frankenstein, I guess, was a type of zombie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess he is because he's like put together and reanimated.
Yeah.
So I guess like, you know what I mean? Just the reanimation process, I guess, classifies it as a zombie.
He gets a little violent.
But aren't vampires reanimated as well? You know, like they have to die before they can become a vampire.
Yeah.
They get infected and then they die. So technically, they're zombies too. You know.
Yeah, but there's
a form of a zombie.
There's a difference between being reanimated and being a zombie, I think.
Jesus is a zombie.
Yeah, zombie Jesus.
Yep.
That's definitely. That's a
if
thing.
He was
That's
reanimated.
a theory.
Yeah.
I stand behind that theory. It's zombie Jesus. I think that we should all enjoy our time that we have right now, outside of the zombie apocalypse. Hopefully, between the time that we record this and the time we release it, the zombie apocalypse hasn't happened. But
Yep.
right now, we're safe. We're not worried about it. So let's get high. Let's all get high together. Myself, Joey, right. You, the listener. We're all gonna pack one up and smoke it. So get your pipe and bong ready, and let's do that. We'll give you 30 seconds. Some spooky bong load music. I gotta take a dab too. That bong load didn't cut it. Where'd you get this music? Is it just zombie music from YouTube? Or is it, does the score have a name?
It's the official music. It's the official theme music for the zombie apocalypse when it happens. It's going to be a requirement that everybody carry an iPod or iPod if you're British and play this exact theme music.
Man, that's is it going to be free in the iTunes store, or do you have to buy it for 99 cents?
Of course, you got to buy it, but you can get it through the link at Natural Habitat Podcast.
It's required that you all play it and buy it.
Yeah, you have to play it while you're walking around.
Otherwise, the government that's how the government knows that you're not a zombie, because you're playing it.
Yeah, because if you're not taking part in the experience,
zombies
and you're not having your own theme music, you know,
because
penalize you.
Zombies don't have. The first thing that you lose when you become a zombie is you lose your memory of your iTunes password. So you'll remember your email, but you won't remember your password, and then you'll try to recover it, and you'll go into your email, and you won't remember your email's password either. And that's how they know, because only people that aren't zombies will be able to download the song and pay for it and play it. Then you'll be safe. So make sure you do that.
Number one for surviving Zombieland? Cardio. When the virus struck, for obvious reasons, the first ones to go were the fatties. Poor fat bastard. But as the infection spread and the chaos grew, it wasn't enough to just be fast on your feet. You had to get a gun and learn how to use it. Which leads me to my second rule, the double tap. In those moments when you're not sure the undead are really dead, don't get all stingy with your bullets. I mean, one more clean shot to the head. And this lady could have avoided becoming a human Happy Meal. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. It wasn't long before the zombies began to get clever. When you're at your most vulnerable, somehow they could just smell it.
Can't a guy take a dubber in peace?
Don't let them catch you with your pants down. Rule number 3, beware of bathrooms. As zombies began to outnumber humans, well, that's when you had to cut all emotional ties. If the girls in your neighborhood are now fucked up little monsters, well, maybe it's time to stop driving carpool. You had to focus on your own survival, which leads to rule number 4. Pretty basic. Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
Fuck that guy. His rules suck. All right.
Well, here's their rules. I'm gonna list them off so you can see what their rules were.
Okay, you
rule
list
number
his
1 was
and then I'll list
cardio.
mine.
All right. Rule number 1 was cardio. 2 was double tap. 3, beware of bathrooms. 4, wear seatbelts. 5, no attachments. 6, the skillet. 7, travel light. 8, get a kick-ass partner. 9, with bare hands. 10, don't swing low. 11, use your foot. So you have to like be watching a movie to like get there. Like a lot of them don't even make sense as like real. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure they would while you're like watching along with the plot or whatever.
That's
so,
not
like,
gonna help you.
Yeah, so
I
a
think
lot
that,
of these are like bullshit, but some of them are funny and make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, who knows if this would be the actual scenario? Like, I think that the having rules is definitely going to be a good thing to do. You're going to have some type of plan because there's not going to be a lot left. You know what I mean? Like, everything's going to be on you. You're not going to have any type of help from any outside source.
Yeah.
Whatever happens to you from then on is going to be up to you. You're going to be the only one that can make sure if you survive or not.
That's why.
So, like,
that's why
to make
I think that
some type of rules is. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You should have some sort of plan and guideline to go by, and be somewhat ready. And I think that I wanted to say there's a lot of misconceptions in movies and film and, you know, all this shit. Like, the first thing that you want to do if you find out that something like this happened is you want to gather all the supplies that you can from your house. And if your house isn't safe or you don't have, you know, the proper means to barricade yourself in there, then you want to move away from civilization. You don't want to go to the mall. Yeah. Like, everybody goes to the mall and they're like, everything's there. Well, yeah, there's also a bunch of zombies there and on the way. And it's not Walking Dead. You're not awesome. Like, just try not to go to the horde of zombies and stay away. And, if you can, like, because my apartment, we're upstairs. So I think that if I could just go out and destroy my staircase, then I'd be fine. I wouldn't really, unless there's the World War Z zombies where they fucking climb on top of each other and shit. But then I could also
thermite or a badass torch.
Yeah.
You're gonna need those things to cut them stairs off. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I figure I could just use a sledgehammer because they're concrete.
Yeah, but what's holding up that concrete? Steel.
Yeah, but it's like they're separated. There's probably like a 4-foot gap in between the two little steel bolts that are holding it on. So I could break the concrete in between. I think like a kung fu break right in the middle. That reminds. Did you see the video of that kung fu guy trying to break the bricks and he fucking couldn't break any of them?
Yeah.
God, that was so sad. I hope you're all right, dude. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Another thing that's a big misconception is people want like big guns and they want big cars, like an armored car or fucking something like that. And you have to think of gas because you're not gonna be able to stop and get gas. There's most likely not going to be a network. Maybe there will be a network, but it's going to be overrun by so many people so quick.
It'll take a while to form stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, things aren't just going to happen overnight. People aren't just going to have some network laid. Like, it would take months and years for people to even get together to make any type of things like that.
Yeah,
happen,
well, what I'm saying is, like, you know, for a short time, you'll be able to, I think for a few hours after the outbreak, you'll still be able to, say, pull up to the gas pump and, use your debit card to fill up your gas tank. It'll just kind of do it. But after a while, there's going to be so many people trying to do it. It's going to overload. The guy's not going to be there to fix the computer system, and then it'll be done. And, you got to think about gas. If you're going to be traveling a long ways, you want something that'll be, that won't take a lot of gas. And also, you got to think about highways and roads are going to be packed. You're not going to be able to drive through a lot of places. You're most likely going to get your car stuck. So the best way to travel, in my opinion, is by bicycle, because you can move through things and you can pick it up and carry it if the terrain gets too crazy. It takes no gas. It's muscle powered. It's easy to maintain if, you have like a flat repair kit and all that shit, and fucking you have a knowledge of how the chain works and putting it back together. If something happened, you could fix it real quick. I think that would be the best way. Yeah, you are exposed, but then again, you kind of are also exposed in a car. If you get stuck and can't go anywhere, then what's stopping someone from just breaking the window and pulling you out, throwing a rock through there? So, in my opinion, everybody can have their own plan and their own thing to do, but I think that a bicycle would be the most conscious and would kind of make the most sense. What do you think?
It depends on where you live at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and how far you need to go.
Yeah. I mean, away from the city is where you need to go in any scenario. Like, the most shit's going to happen in the cities because it's going to be like the most concentrated area. Everything will become gridlocked. Nobody will be able to drive or get in and out of anywhere. Everybody's going to be walking or riding bikes or possibly motorcycles, or like, people that are rich will have helicopters and planes at their houses or whatever that they can take and get away with. People that live next to the water could get out on a boat, people who live up in the mountains could just chill and hope it doesn't come up that far, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not, like, it depends on your actual, where you're at. It depends on your real estate, I guess, on how you can defend yourself, you know what I mean? Like, if you're up on a hill, you want to be on the highest point so you have a 360 view. If you're, you know what I'm saying? Every scenario is going to be different, just like that. So it's like, yeah, I agree with you. Bikes, you could pretty much get anywhere on a bike, and you can outrun any fucking zombie on a bike. Yeah. They're in a human body. They can only run so fast. Even if they don't need to take a breath, they could run possibly forever. Who knows? But
yeah, that's another thing, that if these zombies are, reanimated, something inside of this body, they only have the capabilities that body had. Like, if it's not a supernatural thing, then they can only do what that person could do when they were alive, and that those abilities will be slowly diminishing over time. Like, if everybody turns to zombies at once, or a bunch of people turn to zombies and start biting all these people, and everybody's like mass madness, I think that you could wait it out for a matter of time until these bodies decompose. We're going by the hypothetical, no blood pumping, stiff dead body. These bodies will do what dead bodies do, and they'll get weak. The muscle tissue will break down. They won't be able to walk, and then they'll just kind of fall over and then just be like, And I don't know. Maybe,
yeah, I agree. I agree. It would only last for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, so it's really just about waiting it out.
Yeah, for sure.
With the right people. You don't want to. You want to avoid giant groups, because that's never good. Somebody always turns into a zombie and it gets all crazy, or somebody's stupid. You got to be with like good people that you trust, and that's it. Don't. I'd say. It's like I would normally not say this, but I'm gonna say this in a zombie apocalypse situation. Don't focus on trying to help people. Like, help yourself, help who you have with you, and if you see somebody running around outside screaming for help, just act like you're not home. Do what you do when the kid with the with the tamales comes. You know, not the good tamales. The kid that has the bad tamales that are all warm and have it just like sitting in his pocket all day. You know, act like he's not here.
We're gonna be fine. We have the skyscraper natural habitat podcast building.
Yeah, we're up here 7 days a week, so
it's fully fortified. You know what I'm saying? We got security in a moat with alligators and shit.
Yeah, and actually the bottom, besides the lobby, the second floor to the 14th floor is just solid steel. It's a big solid steel block with one elevator shaft going through it, and we have a plug.
One way in, one way out.
Yeah.
It's like an epic 80s movie.
In a box, like an elevator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll be good. We're just trying to help.
Don't come over.
We're trying to help you guys. That's what. Don't come here. There's a reason why
Our best advice is to stay away from here. Yeah.
There's a reason why the executives don't let us put the address or anything on our Facebook page, and that's because we don't want you guys in here. All right, we love you, but you can't come in here because we only have so many supplies, and if a zombie apocalypse happens while everybody's in here, then that's just more people to take care of, and you're not my responsibility, guys. Sorry, I'm sorry. But if it's not a zombie apocalypse and if something's happening, then I got your back. But if it's zombies, nah, you're on your own. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you'll find out what's real and what isn't when something like that happens for sure.
Yep.
Any type of apocalyptic scenario, you know, it's either fight or flight. You know what I mean? And the ones who stay and fight are not going to live for very long. You know, the ones who escape live to fight another day. You know, so it's like it's going to be, it would be crazy. It would be absolutely crazy if something like this ever really did happen. But you know what? I feel like there would be signs of it. You know, like we would know. I feel like we have people capable of figuring shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if it's a biological thing, you know, like if it happens like in the ants, you know, like if it's just like a spores thing and a parasite thing, you know, then we would be able to figure out a way to deal with that because we already deal with those all the time. You know, it's just another biological thing. If it was an alien thing, like if it came from somewhere else, like from a piece of an asteroid falling and having these germs or whatever on it that created this zombie virus, and then we really had no way to combat it, you know, then we would be fucked, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
So it just depends on what the actual scenario is, you know, how it evolves or comes about. There's a million different ways zombies could happen.
Yeah. And
theoretically.
I think that the best plan would be to wait it out. Try to find a safe place and just wait until all these bodies decompose or everybody eats each other or somebody comes through and wipes everybody out. Like, you know, some sort of other country's government comes and helps us if it's only happening here. Or if somebody fucking finally like takes charge and starts doing some shit. Because, I mean, all the forces will go out and start killing zombies. That's going to happen. It'll just be military cars everywhere. So stay out of the streets if you can. And because you'll most likely get scooped up if you're not a zombie. If they don't just shoot you and just go like, yeah, zombie, you know, because these guys are just shooting everything that's moving. If they don't shoot you, then they're going to scoop you up and put you in some sort of camp, like a FEMA camp where you can't leave. So
yeah,
just find your own place. And like the main thing is having supplies, having access to water, and being able to barricade everything and go in and out, have your little escape route if anything happens, and just stay vigilant, stay aware, use weapons that are durable and you don't have to reload, like bats and bludgeoning items, and just fuck shit up if you have to, but try not to. Like I used to say, oh, I can't wait till the zombie apocalypse. I'm going to fucking kill all these zombies, and I'm going to be like, choo, 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 choo. And I'm going to have this katana and be like, shing, shing. And now I'm like, Now I still make all those noises still, but I think about it now as a 30-year-old man, and I say, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I'd say I'd rather not have to fight any zombies at all. That's ideal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I can not kill one zombie, I'll be happy. I got lost.
Yeah.
Did I say I was 30? That's weird. I'm 23. That's fucking. I don't know why I said 30. 21.
Z's, man, getting some Z's.
Yep. Well, I think that there was something else that I was gonna say about barricading.
Yeah, it's probably not a good plan.
No?
Best plan is to like sneak somewhere and fucking up in the hills or something. Is to get away. I think.
Stay on the move.
Where would you go?
Where would I go? We have there's this place that's like an overlook. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want anyone to go there. That's around here, but it's like an old ranger station that's up at like overlooking a place somewhere, and it's like a big, I'd say like 15 foot by 15 foot like square building, and there's steel shutters that come down and lock, and a lot of times they're up, and it's just like filled with old shit. There's 2 of them that are up, so we could pull those down, barricade it, and it also has running water because we may or may not have allegedly crawled through the window, allegedly, in a dream I had. And there's like just a fucking pipe going down into the ground with a spigot on it, and I think it's like a well, like a natural well down there. So I'm pretty sure there's water there, and it's just all about bringing in enough food, packing it in.
Yeah, there's this place out there in the country, between like Hunter Liggett and Camp Roberts.
Yeah.
It's like it's by like 2 different lakes. It's got 2 different army bases around the side. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be like one of the best places to go.
And
get away from shit.
Is there like some sort of building out there? Is it just?
No, it's just like
a forest.
It's just a country, but it's like surrounded by things where there wouldn't be zombies at, and there'll be like plenty of things like wild deer and all the ways to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't need a grocery store. You would, you know what I'm saying? There's running water and all these things right there. You wouldn't really need anything. It's like a perfect environment to like set up camp and not have to trip. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of places like that would be cool places to get away. You know what I mean? Because like I said, everything would be more focused towards cities, and it would be a lot more centralized because that's where like the main populace will be at. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of dumb people are gonna flock to the stores. You don't want to rely on the store for any food or no,
you want to get whatever you got.
Yeah, or toilet paper.
And dip.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't go to the store. Just have a good stock of non-perishable canned food at your house so you can grab it if you need to. And a lot of people, more people than you think, will go straight to town for either some sort of authority, like seeking safety, or for the store, or to go try to get gas, or to go try to get all their money out of the bank, or some sort of shit like that. You know what I mean? People are going to do stupid shit. So you don't want to get caught up in that and then die in a giant mass of dumbasses. And while you're in it, you're just like, I know I'm smarter than these people. I'm not really smart, but I'm smarter than these people, and I shouldn't die like this. Don't say that. Yeah. I don't want you to say that. I love you guys. Like,
yeah.
Well,
That's funny.
hopefully we learned you some shit here. I know that there's a lot of shit that we didn't cover. We're gonna have to do more zombie episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to talk about
sure.
Get more into the history, get more into different aspects of survival, and just kind of teach y'all how to live, teach y'all how to stay alive, because the zombie apocalypse doesn't mean it's the end.
Yeah.
It could just be a cleaning.
Today's episode was like more about having a plan, you know what I mean? Like maybe next time we'll think about what to do after getting away, or like what to, you know what I'm saying? What else?
Yeah.
Way to like rebuild, or like, you know?
Listen to Mikey Booyah when I say, don't be a square, be aware. That's a quote, and it costs you $5 every time you say it. So...
Yeah.
Don't be a square, be aware, don't say it, just do it.
Wait, you can't say just do it.
I can't? Now I owe people money?
Yeah.
God damn it. What else can I say?
Schneike owns that quote.
Schneike?
Yeah.
What's Schneike's from? Isn't that from Scooby-Doo?
No, Nikes.
Yeah, I know Nikes, but what's the term
do it.
Schneike's?
Oh, I don't know.
That sounds familiar. It's got to be from Scooby-Doo, right?
Probably.
Thelma says it?
Oh, yeah, or no, something like that. Maybe, I don't know.
Schneike's. Well, now you owe Scooby-Doo money.
Yep.
As do I. All right, this episode's getting expensive.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you back here next week with a fresh one. We got some big news coming. Hot new interview that you are all gonna love, and stay tuned for that.
Peace, bitches.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.